Okay, stop CPR and just move quickly.
It started the way many teenage feuds do. A few harsh words thrown around on social media, pride clashing with ego. But when the online arguments turned into real-world threats and a fight was arranged to settle it, no one could have imagined how far it would go. One boy showed up thinking it would be nothing more than a few punches thrown. What he didn't know was that he was walking straight into an ambush, one he would never walk away from. It's the 3rd of May, 2021. A feud between 4 15-year-old boys has just erupted over Snapchat. It began as a petty argument between Mark Nuttall, James White, and Callum, but quickly started to spiral. Mark and James were close friends, and their real issue was with Callum. But Callum also had someone in his corner, a loyal friend, Reece Tansey, who was soon dragged into the chaos. Mark and James had no real problem with Reece, other than the fact he refused to stand down. He stood by his friend, and they didn't like that. It was those messages that changed everything. After hours of back and forth, Mark and James finally managed to convince Reece and Callum to meet them. The pair were reluctant, agreeing to nothing more than a fight. Or so they thought. Word spread quickly, and soon everyone seemed to know about it. Reece started receiving messages from people asking for updates, wanting to know the outcome before it had even happened. The pressure was building, and with the situation now out in the open, Reece, who had hesitated from the start, felt like he had no choice but to go through with it. By that night, all 4 boys had agreed to meet. It's the early hours of the next day. The boys have been in contact all night, and now it's finally time to meet. Reece leaves his house and begins the walk toward Walker Avenue, the agreed meeting spot. At the same time, Mark and James set out too, but their intentions are no longer what they'd claimed. What was supposed to be a simple fight has shifted into something far more darker. Before leaving, James armed himself with a large kitchen knife. As Reece made his way through the quiet streets, his phone buzzed with a message. It was Callum. He wasn't coming. He'd decided to stay in bed, leaving Reece to face Mark and James alone.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get hungry. 2-on-1 for now. Fuck it. Because they're like, oh, put it all over the story that you not come. Well, I ain't getting called a pussy for not coming.
Reece was now on his own. Backing out didn't feel like an option. Too many people were watching, and he didn't want to be seen as the one who backed out. Mark and James had already warned him that if he didn't show, they'd make sure everyone knew. Even though Reece had admitted he couldn't win in a 2-on-1, he was still determined to go. What Reece didn't realize was that James wasn't relying on numbers that night. He had something far deadlier on his side, a knife. As all 3 boys arrived at the meeting spot, the atmosphere shifted instantly. James and Mark locked eyes on Reece. Without a word, James pulled out a kitchen knife, roughly 10 to 12 centimeters long, and charged. Realizing what was happening, Reece turned and ran, fear surging through him as James gave chase, with Mark following close behind. Mid-chase, James closed the distance and plunged the blade into Reece. The chase continued before Reece tripped to the ground, pain searing through his body. But James wasn't finished. As Reece lay on the pavement screaming in agony, James struck again and again. Somehow, Reece managed to get to his feet, blood soaking his clothes, and staggered away in the opposite direction, barely clinging to life. Moments later, he reached a nearby house and banged desperately on the door. Two men rushed to help. Reece gasped his own name, then uttered the names of his attackers, before collapsing on the doorstep. Meanwhile, James and Mark were already on their way home. Barely a minute after stabbing Reece, James pulled out his phone and filmed the bloodied kitchen knife, adding a single caption, "Muppet." He sent the video to a few people and saved it to his Snapchat library as if documenting a trophy. The pair then hid the knife and went their separate ways home.
Go. Can you hear me? He's got a weak pulse, I think. His stomach's moving a little bit. Can you just tell him he's unconscious, not responding?
Level 3, cardiac arrest. Okay, stop CPR and just move quickly.
Despite the desperate efforts to save him, Reece succumbed to his injuries at the scene. He was later transferred to Salford Royal Hospital, where he was formally pronounced deceased at 5:45 a.m. Within just 3 hours of the murder, police were already deep into the investigation. They had the names Reece managed to give to a stranger before he died, and soon after, tips began flooding in. Reports that Mark and James had been messaging people the day before, trying to find Reece's home address. With two names confirmed from two separate sources, investigators knew exactly who they were looking for. Officers contacted Reece's secondary school for more information and quickly discovered that Reece and one of their suspects, James White, had attended the same school. The school provided James's home address, and police prepared to make an arrest. But when they arrived, they were told something unexpected. James had already turned himself in at the police station, accompanied by his parents.
What was your name? So, you're under arrest for suspicion of murder of Reece Tansey. Right. Thanks for bringing him in. So, what's in the bag?
With James now in custody, police wasted no time in turning their attention to Mark. Investigators had already located an address for him and were en route to his home.
Hey mate, do we have to come in?
Yeah.
There's Mark here.
Yeah, I'm not what's going on, mate.
Where is he?
Upstairs.
Mark? Alright, you're under arrest on suspicion of murder. Okay. Right, could I have your phone a second please, buddy? Thank you very much. I'm going to have to ask you to put this suit on for me.
Thanks for the update, appreciate that.
I don't need to put handcuffs on you, no?
I've not done nothing wrong, so I'm fine to go.
Alright mate, so we'll try, no, let go, come on, because forensic mate, you need to let go.
Yeah?
Come on.
Yourself, yeah? Tell the truth, right? You've done nothing wrong.
Right.
I'll put me in there. Not worry about this.
Unfortunately mate, you're not going to be coming to custody.
Don't tell me nothing.
You're not coming to
Don't
custody.
tell me nothing. Don't tell me what to
Listen,
do.
you need to act-
I'm not
you need to act
speaking
calm.
to you. Shut the fuck up.
Right, well you need to act calm or leave. Just sit in there for me please. Thank you.
Mark, don't worry, but you've done nothing wrong.
Okay, do you want to tell me your full name, please? Mark, not all. And it is Thursday, the 6th of May, 2021.
Statement of Mark Not All, I will say as follows. During the early hours of the 4th of May, I received a message from James White asking me if I wanted to meet up with him as he was having a fight with Reece Tansey. I saw James throw around 3 punches at Reece, but at no point did I see James in possession of a knife, and I did not know that Reece had been stabbed.
Let's get real now, Mark. Tell us, what is your role in this? No comment. Do you touch the knife? No comment. Because if we find that knife, is it going to have your DNA on it? No comment. Have you handled that knife? No comment. Just tell us what's happened, Mark. Has he got a knife and he stabbed him? No comment. He's got 6 wounds. He's covered in blood. No comment. Is there anything you want to tell the family of Reece? Nope. Any remorse at all for what's happened to Reece? No comment. It is 18:11 hours and the interview's concluded.
We're in possession of some social media information
which indicate this was a pre-arranged fight between you, Mark Nuttall, and Reece Tansey. What issue did you have with Reece Tansey?
My client will remain silent.
I'm going to conclude. Anything you want to say, James?
No.
After 2 days in custody, police still hadn't recovered the weapon, and both boys had said little of value during questioning. Investigators were growing frustrated, until, without warning, James broke his silence. Calmly, he told officers he was ready to take them to the place where he'd hidden the knife.
So if you drive down to the bottom of Bishop's Road until you come to the bollards, my client may be able to assist from there on. So think about it. So you came up there, can you remember which way you went?
I think you went down there.
So you think it was down there?
Yeah, it's there because I climbed up that muddy bit there. Right, I buried the knife and I walked in a straight line and then the rock was there.
How close to the tree trunk, James, if you can remember?
It was somewhere around here, I don't know how close though.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing the tree.
So I'll describe it.
Because I don't picture everything at the time.
Police spent the entire day searching the area James had led them to, but there was no sign of the knife. The search continued into the following day, yet still, nothing was found. In the end, the weapon was never recovered, but what detectives did uncover proved just as crucial. Digital evidence, including the video James had recorded of the bloodied knife and a series of incriminating messages exchanged between the boys, painted a clear picture of what had happened. Both Mark Nuttall and James White were charged and remanded into custody. In court, the pair pleaded not guilty to murder. Despite their denials, the jury found James White guilty of murder, sentencing him to 15 years in prison. Mark Nuttall was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 6 years. As of the release of this documentary, Mark Nuttall has since been released from custody. James White remains behind bars and has continued to find trouble. While serving his sentence, he has returned to court multiple times for offences including wounding with intent, possession of an offensive weapon, false imprisonment, and affray. A few angry messages, a plan for a fight, and a single reckless decision. That's all it took to end a young life and destroy several others. Reece Tansey was just 15 years old, caught in the middle of something that never should have gone this far. His story stands as a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly teenage pride and online conflict can turn into tragedy, and how, in a moment of violence, everything can change forever.